You're not gonna make it. No, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it, but you can. Hey, welcome to the You're Not Gonna Make It podcast, where I discuss topics that make you feel like humanity's not gonna make it. I'm Kevin. Now, I usually like to get into some topics that affect your mental health and physical health. First, I'm going to get into the physical health. And the first topic, shitty personal trainers. Now, I'm not going to be high and mighty with this. I will be talking about my past self. But shitty personal trainers as a whole, they're a blight on the fitness industry. And you could even go a step further and talk about fitness influencers, but I'll keep it to personal trainers for now. And when I say most personal trainers are shitty, I mean not that they're shitty people, but they have shitty education. Here's the thing. Most personal trainers do not get education. They don't have a formal education, or at least a good one, in regards to exercise science. Now, if you get a degree in kinesiology or something, awesome. That puts you at a big step up compared to most other people. However, most personal trainers are people who got into bodybuilding, basically, look somewhat fit, so other people listen to them. That's what a personal trainer is, for the most part, in this day and age. That's how you get these people who look fairly fit, but when you see them train someone, they look like a lazy drill instructor. They're just telling this person, no, do this. Hey, you 70-year-old lady, we're doing bicep curls. Because that's what I do, and I'm fit, so if you do it, you'll be fit, right? As a matter of fact, most personal trainers, they train people as if they're doing a group fitness class of one. They give them all these exercises that usually don't have anything to do with each other and don't have much to do with the client's goals and are pretty much just meant to tire the client out. They're not meant to achieve anything long term. They're just meant to get the person tired so that they feel like they accomplished something. Now, I want to put some blame on the clients, but they don't know any better. They think, yes, if I go see someone and they make me sweat and tired and sore and achy, they're great. No, that's not how personal training works. It's supposed to be personal, and you're supposed to be trained. You're supposed to be trained for a specific purpose or goal, and that purpose or goal is meant to be personal. So when you see a trainer training all their clients the exact same way and they're just kind of sitting by on their phone while their client is doing some bullshit, that's not great. Not only are they just basically stealing money from this client, but they're giving trainers a bad name. Fitness is super cool, and people that can facilitate you getting into fitness, I mean, it's great. But most personal trainers fucking suck. They just look strong and have people do some random shit. And I've seen this before, but I didn't know how common it was. Apparently, the majority of trainers do not come to a session with exercises in mind. They just show up and just do whatever. That's fucking wild. I actually knew a personal trainer back when I was one who would wing it very often, but he was pretty good and his clients got results. I guess he just kept the general periodization in his mind, but in general, most trainers don't accomplish that kind of thing. They just have their clients do some exercise they saw online last week, and capabilities be damned. If they get injured, fuck them. I mean, it just seems very impersonal, what I've seen. Just, as I said, group fitness class, but with one person. That's what it seems like. Just the most basic bitch shit meant to tire you out. Yeah, that's enough for this person and this person and this person. That's the mindset of most shitty trainers. Now, to not be an asshole, I'm going to shit on myself. Back when I was a trainer, when I first started out, I started out by getting my certification with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So after I got my NASM certification, I worked at Blink. And I didn't know shit. Honestly, I think maybe 2-3 pages of the entire NASM textbook were actually helpful for me. Most of it was stuff that would only be relevant for athletes or for robots. When I had to actually train a real life client, I was fucking lost. Because up to that point, when I had lost my 100 pounds, all I knew was bodybuilding type stuff as well. Just here's a muscle group, here's something that goes with that. Just keep on going. So I was very guilty of doing what I was just shitting on. But that's why I know it's shitty, because I used to do it. And one of the worst things I used to do, and that most trainers do, is not push for the nutrition part. Now, trainers are not nutritionists by default. Some can be very knowledgeable in nutrition, but most are not nutritionists by default. However, most people who go to a personal trainer, they go to lose weight. How do you lose weight? You get a caloric deficit. How do you accomplish that best? Understanding nutrition. At the very least, understanding calories in and out, because that's a law of thermodynamics, and you cannot sidestep that when you're trying to lose weight. I mean, unless you want to run a marathon a day, then you can sidestep that deficit business. But yeah, that's not really long-term sustainable. So what most of these trainers do, because either they don't know or understand the nutrition part, is they tire their clients out, make them sweat, make them work, make them just achy, and basically drill into their head that, hey, if you're not losing weight, you're not working hard enough. You need to sweat more. You need to work more, blah, blah, blah bullshit. You don't need to ache to make progress. It's not a thing. You don't need to be sore. It's fine. I mean, when you start out, you're going to be sore for sure, but you don't need to. It's not an inherent part of improvement in terms of fitness or weight loss, especially weight loss. So I'll say if you're trying to increase your barbell squat, you will be aching. Now that's most trainers. I will say when I moved over to Equinox, that gym was very, very, very pushy with their education. I know it's a weird thing to say, but they were like, hey guys, you need to know your shit. We have a reputation. You guys need to understand exercise science. You need to understand the body. All right. So they forced the trainers there to be knowledgeable to some extent. The worst Equinox trainer is better than most trainers. And I'm not saying that as an advertisement for Equinox. I left because I fucking hated the management style. A lot of problems there, but the education is not one of them. Give you a lot of opportunities to learn, blah, blah, blah. So the trainers there know what they're doing, and it works out better for the clients. Those are not shitty trainers. But what you get with a shitty trainer is wasted money, wasted time, possible injuries, little to no progress. So if you stick with a shitty trainer, you're not going to make it. Financially, it's going to be a wreck. And you're going to have nothing to show for it. But the thing is, most people don't know what a shitty trainer looks like. They don't know any better. Here's a couple ways to spot a shitty trainer. If while the client is doing anything, the trainer is not looking. If they're on their phone, they're shitty. If the trainer has no notes, no notebook, no tablet, no notes on their phone, nothing to keep track of what the client is doing or to compare to before, they're a shitty trainer. If a trainer is training a client and the client is doing an exercise with objectively poor form and the trainer is counting instead of correcting them, they're a shitty trainer. The tough thing is it's really hard to vet a trainer before you start spending money on them. So it's a bit rough there to actually choose one. So the best way is probably word of mouth. If you know anyone who's using a trainer, ask them so you can avoid a shitty one. Before you get a trainer, or in addition to having one, you can check some of the links in the show description if you want some fitness help. But yeah, if you've heard any of the red flags happening during a training session, tell your friend to get the fuck out. If you notice them yourself during a training session, get the fuck out. Don't waste too much of your money. Otherwise, you're not going to make it in your fitness journey. And you want to make it in that journey because it's a pretty cool journey. But you know what's not cool? This transition. And also being seduced by the algorithm, a threat to mental health. So let's not bullshit ourselves. Unless you plan to live out in the forest as a hunter-gatherer, you're going to need to use technology to exist in modern times. Yes, you can still go to the bank in person, cash your check, get money, whatever. You can write letters to your family by hand, send it out if you want to. But you can do all of that by using your phone because it's way fucking easier. But the phone can do much more than make calls and messages. It can do pretty much anything. You can apply for jobs, record a podcast. Not that I'm doing that right now. Manage your banking, purchase anything you want, create a nice drawing, listen to any song in the world, research any topic known to man, and again, communicate with anyone you want in basically any way that you want to. But most of you just kind of flick through a list of pictures and videos with funny captions and watch porn. That's pretty fucked up, right? I mean, you have the world's knowledge in your pocket, but you're sucked into using it for dumbass shit. So here's the thing. It is definitely your fault, but not entirely. And I don't say that to relieve you of your responsibility and accountability, but to remind you that a bunch of rich nerds in Silicon Valley have invested a lot of brain power, a lot of time, and a lot of money into researching the absolute best ways to hijack and commandeer your brain's pleasure centers. Basically, low-key mind control in terms of how you waste your time. Think about a few of these things. Why are notifications usually red? Your brain likes that. That's why. Why do so many apps have all these cool sound effects and colors and, for streaks, log on streaks and all that kind of stuff? Why do they have that? Your brain likes that. Why do companies show you the number of interactions waiting for you whenever you log into something? Your brain likes that shit. It likes numbers, it likes colors in specific ways. I'm sure you know this already, but Mark Zuckerberg is not your fucking friend. And he loves that you waste hours scrolling through bullshit on Instagram so that you can give him data so he can sell to his advertising buddies. However, at this point, it might surprise you to know that I'm not actually against social media. And it may be a shock. I'm not against it. It is awesome that you can keep up with your friends and family who live across the world. It's really cool to share what you're doing, your art, your stuff like that to possibly 1,000 times the amount of people you could otherwise. And it's really cool to get inspired by people who are doing similar things, get motivated, that kind of thing. Connect with people who are your people, But this needs to be your intent. If you get onto social media without a goal, an obscenely rich nerd will give you a goal. They will change up the algorithm so that you can spend the most amount of time there until you end up buying something from someone who then gives them a kickback. That's how all this works. They need you to spend your time there so that you are very comfortable spending your money there. And hey, if you want the product, that's cool, but mostly you don't want what they're telling you to buy. But if you spend enough time there, you'll be like, I've seen this a lot. It could be cool. And if you don't think it's cool, they'll send you down a rabbit hole to make you feel depressed enough that you want that item anyways. So it's just bad all around, honestly. Doom scrolling, as the kids say, which is just scrolling through news or social media forever. It'll kill your time, and excessive use will lead you down really bad rabbit holes, especially with some people with porn and just wasted time. And you keep doing this shit over time and you'll build habits. You'll build a habit of wasting time. And sometimes all this time spent can literally change your mind, and it can kind of change you into someone you don't like an angry, bitter fuck who hates New Zealanders or something. Not only this, but you basically overload your brain's pleasure center. So it's like, oh, all this new nice shit. Ooh, this is good shit. And you overload your brain's pleasure receptors, and then you can't enjoy fucking sunsets anymore. Can't enjoy cool breezes anymore because that's not as cool as looking up this fucking funny meme. And if you think I'm joking about not being able to enjoy basic stuff anymore, next time you're with your friends, a group of friends of, 2 or 3 or more, just, notice how many of them find it much cooler to go on their phone than to have a conversation. It is true. The algorithm will fuck your brain up. You can't even enjoy basic stuff anymore. It'll become neurochemically impossible. Not literally impossible, but it's going to be way harder. Yes, you need to use your phone for a lot of stuff, and you can use it to save a lot of time and improve your life. But just because you can use it on everything doesn't mean it needs to be used for everything. Just be intentional. Use those use the phone to accomplish those things and then move on. These services and platforms are not inherently bad. They're useful. They can be, but they need to be used intentionally if you want to not waste your time in your life. If you go on Instagram, for example, check out, I don't know, latest pictures of your cousins, kids, whatever. Cool. If you get on Instagram just to scroll for 20 minutes or 2 hours, then, it's kind of fucking stupid. Your phone is a tool, not a lifestyle. It's not a hobby. It's meant to accomplish something and then be done. Not, I'm going to use my phone because that's my hobby. No, that's not how it works. I mean, you may have had fun with all those memes and shit, but all that time is gone forever. And did you really gain much? I know laughter is cool, but 5 hours, bro? Come on. For those who spend hours and hours and hours just being guided by the algorithm down different rabbit holes and wasting time, you're not going to make it. But there's some things that can help you make it if you want. You can set timers on your apps, which I like to do. Actually, that's not true. I don't think I have any apps that I have timers on, because if I'm putting a timer on the app, that means it's not useful, which means I've removed it from my phone. But I do have timers on my web browser, so I can get off certain sites when time is up. Because while YouTube is helpful, or it can be, spending a shit ton of time on there is not good. So timers are cool. I'd also recommend turning off the non-essential notifications. A text from your mom should not have the same weight as a notification from Amazon telling you, hey, your package just got shipped out. Those two things are not on the same level. So choose one, hopefully the former, and make that the priority. You can silence the other one. It'll still be there, just won't make a noise and won't distract you. There's actually a really cool Android launcher called Minimalist Launcher that when you use it, every time you load up an app, it'll ask you, hey, so how many minutes do you intend to use this for? 5, 10, 15? And you click that. And then when that timer runs out, they're like, hey, so you chose this time. So are you done? And it kind of makes you aware of what you set out to do. And it was actually pretty helpful. I don't use it anymore because I personally prefer Niagara Launcher. It is the greatest launcher of all time. But for people who have huge issues with just wasting time with algorithmic rabbit holes, the Minimalist Launcher is really good. I don't know if it exists on iOS, but look for it. Honestly, just be honest with yourself and just practice. When you set out to do something, are you setting out to do that, or are you setting out to waste a bunch of time in this world? If you want to just hop onto fucking Twitter just to waste some time, check shit out, that's whatever. But I recommend setting a timer. For everything that you possibly can, I recommend setting an exact goal. And then once you hit that, get the fuck off. The last thing you want is some rich fuck over there in California controlling your time with their nerdy research. All right, you take back your time. You choose to spend the time in the way you actually benefit from. If you let these algorithms waste 9 hours of your day, you're not going to fucking make it. So make a change. Anyway, that wraps it up. If you want to send me some hate comments about how your social media addiction isn't that bad, leave a comment, dude. If you want to leave a review, that's cool. If not, that's also cool. Either way, see you next time. You're not gonna make it. No, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. But you can.